Good morning, everyone. Brian here again with BMK Retro Gaming. As you can see, I have my IntelliVision shirt on as it is time for our IntelliVision home video game console line original library review of Loco-Motion. Here's the box. You can see it's got some pretty nice art on the front. Mattel electronics, used with any IntelliVision master component. Here we have a description on back and little bit of what the gameplay is supposed to look like. Let's see, and Mattel Incorporated 1982, trademark Konami 1981. Basically, Konami had developed the game, as far as I can tell, throughout the time period 1981 and released it as an arcade cabinet original in 1982, which also that year it was published by them, at least initially. And interestingly enough, in the Japanese market, it was published by Sega. Here's my coffee. Anyway, same year it got its arcade port, which was to the IntelliVision. And they did a rather good job. I'm not sure, but they may not, or probably didn't use the exec software, which is one of the things, when it's developed with, it helps developers out, especially third-party developers. But it also has a bad tendency to plays the gameplay back a bit slower than if you use instead one of the other methods of developing your program on the IntelliVision home video game console line, which does not use it. Those play back a bit faster. Also, I tend to play on the slowest difficulty setting, so my gameplay looks at least a bit competent. So the games may look a tad bit slow, but really the dadgum console has a 16-bit microprocessor. Turn up the difficulty settings and have it go faster, and they can get pretty quick. Most of them. Some television games still seem to play pretty slow, but anyway, the reason why I'd come up with this particular review is partially because my Facebook friend Kevin Schultz, in the IntelliVision Invasion Facebook group, which I'm also a member of, very nice group by the way, had been playing this as their weekly high score challenge game in their Mr. Schultz competition throughout this last week. So I thought to myself, this would be a perfect time to go ahead and give the game a review. So here we go. As you guys have seen, it's got pretty nice box art. My cartridge is it's a little badly worn looking, but it's okay. Pretty standard IntelliVision cartridge. Apparently it says it was made in Singapore. Unsurprising. And of course we have also our manual, which mine has a little bit of wear and tear, but not too bad, for 1 or 2 players. Color TV viewing only. And inside, it basically goes over with you the object of the game and your controls, pretty standard. And then continues a bit more on that. Tells you about choosing game speed, like I was talking about. 3 is the slower one, which is one I'm going to be playing on. 2 is medium speed. 1 is fast, and the fastest is to hit your discs. So get those in a second. And then it tells you about choosing 1 or 2 players, and all aboard, kind of, how the gameplay works a little bit more. Then it talks about the station rewards, which can vary a bit. And the crazy trains too, which are one of your potential adversaries, and the loop sweepers, which are another one. And the crazy tracks, which they can send you multiple ways. The panic button, which can kind of warp you to a different part of the track, though there are some cases it's not a good idea to use on, such as Like if there's a crazy train or loop sweeper on the same piece of track as your own train, or if you panic on the station. So yeah. And then of course we have the next little page, which is stuck together. Oh no. Talks to you about the railway rules, about different hazards and stuff. This thing right here is kind of a train stop. You don't want to hit one of those either. Running out of track here. You also don't want to hit a wall. And then of course it goes over, scoring, which is simple enough. For each track section that you cross is 10 points. 100 points for passengers picked up at the stations. Station rewards bonus tends to vary with your time. For each crazy track crossed is 150 points. Clearing a screen or a level is 1,000. And doing it with perfect clear is 5,000. Then it gives you some winning tips here, and 13 pages right there. So you count the front and the back, we're talking about 15 pages little manual. Not too bad or anything. Anyway, it's basically an update to a sliding block puzzle game, which makes it pretty interesting. Here's the basic, got both of them, the control overlays, pretty simple controls. We'll get into them in a minute. Anyway, being this type of game is actually very interesting and appropriate for the IntelliVision home video game console line, because most IntelliVision games were a bit more cerebral than, say, your average arcade port, which you do have to think some of those, but not a lot. Being more cerebral, though, most IntelliVision games you have to think at least a little more. They're more of a thinking gamer's games, and I like that about them. Anyway, I've got my TV IntelliVision 2 out, and I'm going to get us up, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at some gameplay real quick. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully my cable holds up and the feed comes in pretty nice. There we go. She's a bit of a loud one, isn't she? Okay, we're going to hit 3. Number of players 1. Controls are pretty simple. Move the puzzle pieces by pressing on your direction disc. 9 is your panic button, and side buttons are to accelerate. Those faces up there represent your passengers. There we go, looks like I'm going to get a few of them at one time. Okay, time to speed this puppy up a bit. Get these passengers and get them happy before it becomes a problem. Oh, oops, released a crazy train. I did not see that thing coming. Hey. Kind of silly I messed up right there on that first shot, but you know. And we're on to number 2. You kind of want to keep your train going a little slow at first until you can figure out, you know, how exactly you should really work it around to get to where you need to go. Alright, so now I keep reading a daggone loop. I don't know why or how. What am I supposed to do? Oh well. Tried. I think this might work kind of better. Can't say for sure though. Uh-oh. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem, but I'll fix it. Guess I'll figure out after I get past this part. Oops. Oh well. That's the basic idea of the game, but I kind of stink at it. I sometimes got to level 3, but you know. Okay, so that was... excuse me, that was Loco-Motion, an original library game for the IntelliVision home video game console line. I just realized I may have left the backlight on, so there may have been a bit of glare on the screen, but probably not so bad. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Big shout out to my friend Kevin Schultz and the great guys over there at the IntelliVision Invasion Atari H Facebook, IntelliVision Invasion Facebook group. Sorry. It's all been great. For any who may be interested in reading up further on this game, I will leave a Wikipedia article link for you because it's a good place to start your research. A couple of my last videos forgot to leave those, even though I could have, but they've been added since. So I decided to go ahead and mention it this time. I also do have a couple of recommendations and links for you guys. Let's see, Generational Gamer. He's a new preferred YouTuber of mine. Just subscribed to him recently. Very good. He does a lot more modern stuff, but he started out on and was also, how do you say, His first home video game console, I think he said, was the IntelliVision, so he still does some videos on that. He's got a nice one on this one. Then there's Willie with Arcade USA. He has a fun time playing this, and he's pretty good at it. Beats the heck out of me. And then, of course, His Royal Highness High Retro Game Lord has a nice little gameplay video. Anyway, I will leave links in that order for those guys and their videos for you. Sorry I didn't get past, say, level 2. This game is fairly simple and a bit easy, but at the same time, you can kind of get stuck. Sometimes you just can't figure out which track is the right one to get you where you want to go. I enjoy it. I mean, besides it coming up in the competition, I do love trains. Kind of like why I got and reviewed the ColecoVision homebrew Sidetrack a while back. Slightly different train game, but still a train game, and I loved it too. Anyway, I'd recommend this one as well because Loco-Motion is very good. Interestingly enough, they started to develop an Atari VCS 2600 port of the game that, through the M Network label, I believe it probably would have been, which was supposed to release in '83, but probably the '83 industry and market crash got that, and there hasn't even been a game ROM or anything released to my knowledge, so maybe one day. It was mostly finished, so could have been. So maybe we'll see it one day. I sure hope so, because from what I've seen of the screen images, it looks like it would be a lot of fun. Anyway, if you enjoy my channel's videos, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And don't hesitate to leave your questions, comments, or suggestions down in the comment section below. I should have this upcoming Sunday, not sure what yet, but another homebrew game review or coming up for you guys. Homebrew, ProBrew, or Prototype. Again, I haven't picked, I'm not sure which yet. Anyway, you guys have a nice Wednesday, and I will see you again then, if not a bit before.